Okay, well, I moved through that pretty quick. Hopefully you was able to keep up. So it all reduced down to 4 times x cubed times y squared times the square root of 2x. Alright, what if we had 1 over the square root of 3? We want to be able to rewrite this, and we want to get this radical out of the denominator. And so remember, we can write this as 3 raised to the half power. If I were to multiply 3 to the half and then put 3 to the half up here in the numerator, what's going on in the denominator? Well, bases are the same. Add exponents. A half plus a half is 1. So this just becomes 3 to the first power, and this is 1 times 3 to the half. But I can write this back into radical form, and there we go. So we got the radical out of the denominator and put it up into the numerator. And a lot of times you're asked to write your final answer in this form. So let's say that we had 2 over the square root of 3. So we'd say the square root of 3 over the square root of 3, and this becomes 2 square roots of 3 over the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. Just remember how we did it here. Right, and there you go. Okay, let's say we had the square root of 3 over the square root of 12. Now, of course, we could rewrite this, and the whole thing would be 3 over 12, which actually now reduces down to 1 over 4. Right? 3 goes into 12 4 times. But we can rewrite, and so we're left with a half. Reduces down to a half. Okay? I'll just go ahead and work this next one out right here. If I were to break this one up, we'd have, I'm going to go ahead and write it in exponential form. This one here is kind of tricky. That's a 3 there. What we're going to need to do on this particular problem is we are going to write this 4 as 2 squared. And it's raised to the 1/3, remember? And of course 1 raised to the 1/3 is just 1. Okay, so now we have 1 over 2 to the 2/3 times, now look what I'm about to do here, 2 to the 1/3. 2 to the 1/3, this is kind of a trick here on this particular one. 2/3 plus 1/3 is 1. So we're going to be left with 2 to the 1/3 over 2, and if we were to write this back into radical form, this is what we would get. So that's tricky. Tricky. But it's those kind of problems on a test that can really slow a person down.